part. Pioneer is close, but it's no Gibson part.
Yeah, yeah, and that happened because of the river.
Yeah.
The estimate is higher than Exxon's, and so they're saying that more than 50,000 gallons of oil were released into the river. We believe the public and the government agencies should have been told that the pipeline was not carrying just Wyoming oil, but also the much more toxic and corrosive tar sands oil from Canada. That proper information about the oil and its constituents could have speeded up the testing process. As it is, we're still waiting for verified test results. Our recommendation is that both EPA and DEQ should publicly release their testing results as soon as they're verified, and all Montanans should have thorough and reliable information about what was put into the Yellowstone River. With regard to cleanup efforts, the state of Montana has the power to enforce much stricter standards than the EPA has, and we should do so. So what we recommend is that for cleaning up the river, the adjacent properties, fishing access sites, parks, and all downstream water uses, this cleanup should be done to the highest possible standards. And citizens need to remain vigilant. We need to document any residue or damage they find and inform the agencies about what they find. State agency personnel want to do the right things, but they need pressure from us, the citizenry, to help them counter the pressure they will be getting from Exxon. Landowner rights and agricultural productivity are a big concern here. Area landowners deserve rapid compensation that doesn't take away their rights to future claims. We don't want a repeat of the Exxon Valdez spill, where Exxon delayed and minimized damages for 20 years while people were sick and lost their livelihoods. Landowners who have lost crops and feed for their livestock should not have to bear the immediate financial burden. They should also not have to sign away their rights in order to get relief. We recommend that Exxon should offer swift payment to landowners for immediate damages without any conditions regarding future claims. Landowners should seek legal advice before signing anything given to them by Exxon. The state of Montana should require long-term monitoring for agricultural productivity and hold Exxon accountable for long-term impacts to landowners. And the state of Montana should create a citizen advisory council of affected stakeholders to provide for the ongoing sharing of information and to make sure the future impacts continue to be brought to the attention of state agencies. There's been a big taxpayer burden resulting from this spill. Local, state, and federal agencies are incurring huge costs. Taxpayers should not be stuck with these costs. Our recommendation is that state, local, and federal agencies need to keep complete accounts of all cleanup expenditures, not bury them in general operations. These costs can be published monthly, along with information about how much has already been reimbursed. Exxon should be required to pay all costs associated with cleanup oversight and administration. And finally, we have concerns about the bigger issue of pipeline safety. Pipeline spills are too common and they're not well publicized. There are many dozens every year. TransCanada's proposed Keystone XL tar sands pipeline would have 20 times the transport capacity of the ExxonMobil Silvertip pipeline that broke here. They will also carry a highly corrosive type of oil under hundreds of waterways, including Montana's Yellowstone and Missouri rivers. TransCanada's already constructed Keystone 1 pipeline has reported a dozen leaks in the last year. And a researcher found that the company's assumptions about risks associated with the pipeline that will cross Montana are far too optimistic. State and federal decision makers should take a closer look before approving Keystone XL. Our recommendations: Governor Schweitzer and the DEQ should require TransCanada to have a publicly available emergency response plan and the resources in place to implement it, as well as working with landowners to make sure their livelihoods are protected. TransCanada is trying to shortcut the proper analysis needed to prevent future accidents, with support from Representative Reber. We call on our entire delegation to reject their efforts to force the State Department to rush its review of the XL pipeline. The consequences of this spill will continue for many years. We must prevent another. Thank you.
Oh gosh, all the time. Riverfront trails get used constantly. And then Colson Park, of course, is a city park also. And Colson and Riverfront and this one are not in the city limits. So